Start.
Good day, everyone. So this is our topic or assigned report, which is the problem of implementation and plan failures. And this will be presented by Gahetos Raymart, me, and Tingo Banshani. So crisis plan. What is a crisis plan? A crisis plan is the physical manifestation of crisis management with respect to the creation of a real document, digital or otherwise, outlining a personal or organizational reaction to crisis. So a crisis plan is like a roadmap that helps organizations or individuals deals with emergencies, and it includes figuring out what could be go wrong, finding ways to prevent problems, knowing what to do when something bad happens, and making a plan to talk to people involved and having a plan to get things back to normal. It's important to review and update the plan regularly to make sure it works well. The main goal is to keep everyone safe and make sure things keep running smoothly even during and after a crisis. So that is the crisis plan. So why is crisis plan important? A crisis management plan makes it easy to detect and prevent a crisis before it happens or before it gets out of hand. That has an impact on both revenue and reputation. A crisis plan is vital for several reasons. It ensures preparedness by identifying potential crises and developing strategies to mitigate their impact. It provides clear guidelines for an effective response during emergencies, minimizing confusion and negative consequences. By implementing prevention strategies, it helps minimize risks and potential damage. The plan includes a communication strategy for transparent stakeholders management, maintaining trust and reputation. It ensures operational continuity through a recovery plan, minimizing disruptions. Overall, a crisis plan provides a structured approach, reduces risks, ensure effective communication, maintains operation, and safeguards reputation during challenging situations. So that is why the crisis management plan is very important. So which type of crisis should you prepare for? Which types of crisis should you prepare for when doing business? So first is your natural disasters. Next one is number two is biological hazards. Three is damages that emanate from human errors. Four, damages that causes human malice. And the fifth one is the technology related losses. So importance of crisis management plan for success. So um, a first one is it helps you define what a crisis is and who should manage it if it arises. So, what crisis is and who should manage it? A crisis plan helps you define what constitutes a crisis for your organization. It outlines the types of situations that can have a significant impact on your operations, reputation, or stakeholders. It also clarifies who should be responsible for managing the crisis, whether it's a designated crisis management team or specific individuals within the organization. Then, going forward, CMP might be a factor potential employees considered before agreeing to work for you. So, having a well-developed crisis management plan can be seen as a positive factors by potential employees. It demonstrates that your organization takes proactive measures to handle emergencies and prioritize the safety and well-being of its employees. This can enhance your reputation as a responsible and reliable employer, making your organization more attractive to seekers. So, number three is help you keep everyone safe it can minimize damages both in reputation and revenue. So a crisis plan helps in minimizing damages to your organization's reputations and revenue. By having a predefined strategy in place, you can respond quickly and effectively to a crisis, mitigating its impact and preventing further harm. This can help in preserving your organization's reputation, maintaining customer trust, and minimizing financial losses. And the fourth one is it helps you determine who needs what information. So, um, during a crisis, it is crucial to provide accurate and timely information to the relevant stakeholders. A crisis plan helps you to determine who need who needs to receive what information and through which communication channels. This ensures that the right messages are delivered to the right people, minimizing confusion and maintaining transparency. And for the fifth one, it is the base upon which you rebuild after the crisis. So a crisis plan serves as the foundation upon which you can rebuild and recover after a crisis. It includes a recovery plan that outlines the steps to be taken to restore normal operations, regain public trust, and address any lingering effects of the crisis. By having a well-defined plan, you can navigate the post-crisis period more effective and work towards returning to a stable state. In summary, a crisis plan helps in defining and managing crisis, attracts potential employees, minimizes damages to reputation and revenue, determines information dissemination, and provides a roadmap for rebuilding after a crisis. It is an essential tool for organizations to effectively navigate through challenging situations and minimize the negative impact of crisis. So next slide is the four stages of crisis. So the first one is the prodromal or pre-crisis stage. So this stage is this is the warning stage. This stage is often referred to as the warning stage. It is the period before the crisis occurs when there are warning signs or indicators that something may go wrong. During this stage, it is important to be vigilant and proactive in identifying potential risk or issues. This is the time to assess the situation, gather information, and prepare for potential crisis. And the next stage is acute crisis. The acute stage, uh, this is the crisis itself. The acute stage is when the crisis itself occurs. It is the most intense and critical phase of a crisis. This is when the situation escalates and poses a significant threat to the organization or individual. It requires immediate actions and response to mitigate the impact of the crisis. Clear communication, decisive decision making, and effective crisis management strategies are crucial during this stage. So, stage number three is the chronic or cleanup. This is sometimes referred to as the cleanup phase. After the acute stage, the crisis enters the chronic stage, also known as the cleanup phase. This is the period when the immediate crisis has subsided, but there may be still lingering effects or consequences to address. It involves assessing the damage, implementing recovery measures, and restoring normal operations. This stage may involve ongoing cleanup efforts, reputation management, and addressing any legal or financial implications. The next stage is the crisis resolution or post-crisis or post-crisis. Um, this is the turning point when you can turn a challenge into an opportunity. So this crisis resolution stage is the turning point where the crisis can be transformed into an opportunity. It is the phase where lessons learned from the crisis are applied to improve processes, systems, and preparedness for further crisis. This stage focus on learning from the crisis, implementing challenges, and strengthening the organization or individual's resilience to prevent similar crises in the future. It is an opportunity for growth, innovation, and building a stronger foundation. Um, to sum it up, the stages of the crisis include the prodromal pre-crisis stage where warning signs are identified, the acute crisis stage which is the intense period of the crisis itself, the chronic cleanup stage where the aftermath is managed and recovery efforts are undertaken, and the crisis resolution or post-crisis stage, which is a turning point of learning, improvement, and building resilience. Understanding and effectively navigating each stage is a crucial in crisis management. So the next slide will be discussed by Miss Shani.
So thank you for that, Raymart.
Kusag off akong kanday.
Sige. Okay, so again, thank you for that, Mr. Raymart. So this time, I will be going to discuss the crisis intervention and its four distinct ranges. Now, let's first discuss what is crisis intervention. Now, when we say crisis intervention, it is a short-term technique used to address an immediate mental health emergency and stabilize the individual in crisis. So it involves providing immediate support, creating a safe plan for next steps, and implementing appropriate uh, treatment. Now, the goal is to reduce potential long-term damage and restore the individual's well-being. Now, crisis intervention can be provided by hospitals, clinics, social services, and rehab centers. If you or someone you know is experiencing a crisis, it's important to seek help promptly. Now, in crisis intervention, in any crisis falls into four distinct ranges. And these four distinct ranges, also called as the four color model. Now, first one is the red range. Now, this range represents the most severe and immediate crisis situation. It involves imminent danger to the individual or others. Now, example of red range include someone experiencing a life-threatening medical emergency, or a person exhibiting violent behavior, or a suicidal individual in immediate danger. So those individual who experiencing this kind of struggles, or kanang matawag nato nga kuan na gud siya, nang in danger na gud siya, so ma-fall siya sa the red range. Now the second one is the yellow range. Now, in this range, the yellow range signifies a crisis situation that is serious but not immediately life-threatening. So, it involves significant distress or impairment in functioning. Now, examples of yellow range include someone experiencing severe anxiety or panic attacks, or a person struggling with substance abuse, or a victim of domestic violence who needs immediate support. Now, those individual or people who experiencing like severe anxiety, depression, or kanang naka-experience sila og mga abuse, so they fall to the yellow range na need sila og immediate support from the professionals, or bisag sikin sa pa sa ilahon nga environment or ilahon nga palibot. Now, next one is the blue range. So the blue range represents a crisis situation that is less severe but still requires attention. So it involves emotional distress or significant disruption in daily life. Now, example of blue range includes someone going through a difficult breakup or divorce, a student experiencing academic difficulties or failures, or a person dealing with grief and loss. So, um, for me, matawag na ako. I mean, matawag na ako akong kagalingan na ma-fall ko sa a blue range because I am a student and naka-experience ko og mga like academic difficulties in ana and aside from that blue range like makuan pod nato siya sa mga teens like kanang gikan sa breakup something like that. So kuan kanang students or teens ma-fall ko na siya sa blue range. Now the last one is the green range. Now the green range refers to a crisis situation that is less severe and more manageable. So kuan siya kanang crisis situation gyapon siya an experienced by a person but manageable. Yeah, it involves mild to moderate distress or a temporary disruption in functioning. Now, example of green range includes someone feeling overwhelmed with work or school responsibilities, a person experiencing relationship conflicts, or a brief period of emotional instability. Now, it is important to know that these ranges are not fixed category, and crisis situations can be vary in intensity and context. So the purpose of these four distinct ranges or the four color model is to help professionals assess the severity of a crisis and provide appropriate interventions or appropriate help based on the individual's needs. So those are the four distinct ranges: the red, yellow, blue, and green. Now the next one is theory versus practice. Now there is a huge difference between theory versus practice. Theory assumes an outcome, while practice allows you to test the theory and see if it is accurate. Now, theory and practice do have a significant difference. Theory provides a conceptual understanding and assumptions about how things works, while practice allows us to test those theories in real life situations to see if they hold true. So, theory. Let's discuss about the theory. So theory involves the formulation of like ideas, concepts, and principles based on observations, research, and analysis. It aims to explain phenomena, establish relationships, and predict outcomes. So theories are often developed through systematic study and provide a framework for understanding and interpreting the world. However, theories are not proven facts but rather educated explanations that guide our understanding. Now, when we say practice, practice involves the hands-on application of knowledge and skills in real life situations. It allows us to put theories to the test and observe their validity and effectiveness. So through practice, we gain practical experience, learn from mistakes, and refine our understanding. It helps us bridge the gap between theory and reality, providing valuable insights and practical solutions. Now, in summary, theory provides a conceptual framework and assumptions, while practice allows us to test and validate those theories in real life situation. It is through the interplay between theory and practice that we gain a deeper understanding of the world around us. So that is theory versus practice. Next slide, please. Now, factor prices, choice of technique, and employment creation. A choice between alternative techniques of production is a major problem in the planning for developing countries. This is because a particular choice of technique of production affects not only the magnitude of employment but also the rate of economic growth. So the choice of technique of production, also known as the choice of technology, is a significant consideration in the planning process for developing countries. These decisions has implications for both employment creation and economic growth. Now, factor prices. Factor prices refers to the cost of various inputs used in the production process such as labor, capital, and natural resources. Different production techniques may require varying combination and intensities of these factors. The availability and relative prices of factors of production influence the choice of technique. Now, choice of technique. The choice of technique refers to the selecting the most efficient and appropriate method of production from available alternatives. So it involves deciding on the combination of inputs and technologies to produce goods and services. Different techniques can have varying levels of labor or capital intensity depending on the relative cost and availability of factors of production. Now, employment creation. The choice of technique of production has a direct impact on employment. Labor-intensive techniques which rely more on human labor than capital have the potential to create more employment opportunities in developing countries with a large labor force. Choosing labor-intensive techniques can help absorb surplus labor and reduce unemployment rates. So, in summary, the choice of technique of production is developing countries involves considering the availability and cost of factors of production as well as the goals of employment creation and economic growth. It requires a careful analysis of the country's specific circumstances and priorities to determine the most appropriate approach. Next slide, please. Now, let's proceed to the rural-urban imbalance of migration. So, the process of people migrating to other areas in search of a better life is not novel one. Now, the rural-urban imbalance of migration, it refers to the phenomenon where people from rural areas move to urban areas in search of better opportunities and a higher quality of life. So, of course, kuan siya, anang uh, people around us may migrate to another place for a better life or nakita sila og more opportunities dito nga area. Now, this migration process has been happening for a long time and continues to occur in various parts of the world. Um, the rural-urban imbalance of migration occurs when individual or families decide to leave their rural or countryside homes and relocate to urban areas. So this migration is driven by um, this migration is driven by the perception that cities offer better employment prospects, improve access to education, healthcare, infrastructure, and higher standard of living. Now, the push factors from rural areas such as limited job opportunities, inadequate services, and poverty contribute to the desire for a better life in urban areas. So, in many example of this is in many developing countries such as atong example ani is India. Now, rural-urban migration is a common occurrence. For instance, individuals from rural villages may migrate to metropolitan cities like Delhi. in search of better job opportunities, higher wages, and improved living conditions. They may leave behind agricultural work or small-scale farming in rural areas to pursue employment in industries, services, or construction sectors in urban area. So this migration can lead to an imbalanced population distribution, with cities experiencing rapid growth and rural areas facing depopulation. So aside from that, sa example kanina na ko na kuan developing countries like India. So rural urban imbalance of migration may happen here in the Philippines, and sa ato diri sa ato ang lugar, which is sa Shaton. Now Shaton is matawag pa nato siya nga rural area or rural place. And then people from Shaton or bisag asa nga barangay diri sa Shaton is experiencing kuan kanang mga push factors like wala sila, dili sila maka makakita silang kaugalingon nga naa sila um, matawag na to ani nga good life here in Shaton. So probably those individuals or kana nga pamilyahan nga nagpuyo diri sa Shaton is possible nga mo migrate sila pa sa laing lugar. So atong example is Dumaguete. Now in Dumaguete makaingon gud ta nga kuan gud siya more opportunities, kasi aside from kuan kanang urban place siya is dagan po siya mga infrastructures, mga opportunities, mga job opportunities nga makita nimo sa Dumaguete. So muna siya rural urban imbalance of migration or migration sa gikan sa rural to urban um, areas. Now in summary, the rural-urban imbalance of migration occurs when people leave rural areas and move to urban areas in search of a better life. This phenomenon is driven by the desire for improved opportunities and a higher standard of living. However, it can also create challenges for both rural and urban areas that requires careful planning and management. Now, let's proceed to the last one, which is the demand for education. Now, education in every sense is one of the fundamental factors of development. No country can achieve sustainable economic development without substantial investment in human capital. Now, the demand of education is actually crucial for the overall development and progress of a specific nation. Now, education plays a fundamental role in shaping individuals, societies, and economies. Now, the demand for education refers to the desire and need for individual to acquire knowledge, skills, and qualifications through formal or informal educational system. So it is driven by the recognition that education is a key driver of personal growth and economic development. Now, investing in education is seen as an investment in human capital, which contributes to overall well-being and prosperity of um, country. Now, example for this. So, let's consider a developing country that recognizes the importance of education for its economic growth. Now, the government or the policymakers prioritize education by investing in schools, colleges, and universities that ensuring access to quality education for all citizens. So this investment in education leads to an increased demand for educational opportunities as individuals understand the long-term benefits of acquiring knowledge and skills. So as a result, more students enroll in schools and universities seeking to improve their educational qualifications and enhance their future prospects. Now, the demand for education is driven by various factors, like including the desire for personal development, social mobility, better employment opportunities, and the overall goal of achieving sustainable economic growth. Education equips individuals with the necessary skills, knowledge, and competencies to contribute to the workforce, drive innovation, and foster economic productivity. Now, in summary, the demand for education is essential for the development of individuals and nations. So, it is the key factor in promoting social and economic progress as education empowers individuals, enhances their capabilities, and enables them to contribute effectively to society. Investing in education is a critical step towards achieving sustainable economic development and improving the overall well-being of a country's population. So those that is for the demand for education. So that's the end of our report. Thank you for watching and listening to our report. I hope you gained something. Thank you.